Here's an uncomfortable truth. One day, you may wake up and realize you can no longer buy digital assets at all anymore. Not because the technology failed, but because access has been taken away. Exchanges have been rolled up, liquidity has vanished, and suddenly, the only way to own digital assets is through products built by Wall Street. The free market has never been the end game for these institutions. It was just the testing ground. And in this video, I'm going to break down the real playbook institutions running, why they never actually built the infrastructure for you to own assets directly, and how Tether could trigger a liquidity crisis. It clears the field, which guess what? Would give the banks what they need to roll it all up into structured products, which is a system they already control. And this is the story that nobody's telling you. And by the end, you'll understand why the window to direct ownership of digital assets is closing a lot faster than most people realize. So let's talk about what I think the real end game is. My name's Jake Claver. I'm the director of Digital Ascension Group, and we are the largest wealth manager for digital assets in the world. We have conversations with Goldman, Citi, BNY, Bank of America, you name it, we've talked to them, and we actually provide a way where people can own their digital assets inside institutional custody outright, not in omnibus accounts, not in a way where they're owed back to you or they can be taken from you, through Anchorage, who is our partner for institutional custody. So I'm having these conversations and I see what's happening. Exchanges, when people think about them, they think freedom, right? It's an on and off ramp. You can take your assets, put it in your cold wallet, which is direct ownership of the bearer asset. And that's how a lot of people think about this, right? If you're in crypto, I'm sure you've heard, not your keys, not your crypto. And it's true. But that is a radical way of owning something. It'd be like taking the stock certificates for your stocks from your broker and putting them in a safe in your house. People haven't done that since the 1920s and 1930s. Okay. It's a long time ago, but effectively, that's what you're doing with your digital assets. The same thing with gold. Most people own gold through an ETF or another structured product. Well, there's been, a theme here lately where people have realized that these paper derivatives are manipulated. And so there's been a trend where people have gone back to direct ownership of gold, but then you got to worry about insurance and vaulting and where it's held and all of these other things that you don't have to think about when it's institutionalized. So that's why I think most people would probably rather own it through a structured product. And the institutions haven't really built out the infrastructure for people to have direct access to these digital assets. They've been building the rails for settlement for themselves and not retail. Believe me, we've had a lot of frictions and frustration trying to get things to where we are today to actually be able to provide this for people. And when you have a Coinbase account, it's just like a bank. They have an omnibus structure. You have a tag number. There's one wallet. They hold all the assets in. They might have a couple different wallets